on my birthday, where there was a whatever that came to hand me a jacket because I was freezing. If somebody says to you that you're a seed in their teeth, what does that really mean? I'm like, I don't know how to take that. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? I mean, I don't know the person who said it. I think I'd rather be in his teeth. He was the nice, kind person who lent me his jacket when I was freezing, and to cover up because I was uncomfortable. So I don't know in this world how to take that. But they did make this interesting movie called Alice in Wonderland. For Disney made it before I arrived. And again, I'm a bicentennial, so things change on a whim. And there's like a saying, like if I even get a whiff or a hint, but usually if I get so much as a whiff, right? Yeah, I have a whiffle ball, so so that's interesting and whatever. I'm in Queens at the moment. There's talks I had to take a COVID test. Again, in this pantomime on the surface, in this Big Apple, being that it's the headquarters of the empire in the state of whatever, for this whatever, I obliged, I suppose. But somebody is invited Tia Friel 1975 over. So I'm going. I'm just hoping that no syringes or needles or anything come out. I don't get locked in a room or whatever, because it's been whatever, and I'm trying to remain respectful, but it is whatever. And he keeps saying, don't talk shit about me. I'm like, in person, just am quiet as always, but I'm logging my own details in for my own safety and for my son, should anything happen to me along my travels. He knows where I was on my journey. And that goes for any of the three that are not in my company. So that is that. So, to wherever he was invited, not the phone call that just happened, but his pre-commitment with the employer. So I took the test. I'm going through the motions because I don't want anybody to be one way or the other. I'm going in all black, with my scarf and my hat, so my head's not exposed, especially with the hair falling out in the area as it is, which has nothing to do with disease necessarily. It's due to other toxins in the environment. So that is what living in the Big Apple in my life frame has felt like without the person for whom I belong. It feels like Alice in Wonderland after she falls down the hole and walking in that garden, just so Watershed is not confused, without drinking or eating or any craziness. It is just like being born to a world where you are a little girl and you are beautifully dressed and you are encountering other things that don't look like you almost at every stage and everywhere you look. Some smoke things and they're a caterpillar on a mushroom, some and you have no hand to hold, you have no man to protect you, you have nothing in this movie character scenario, which is what it feels like in New York, I think is pretty accurate. And so you are not trying to hurt those that appear before you. You are also not looking to dishonor yourself or whatever holds your security keys. And you also are trying not to harm anybody. But it gets very difficult when some people already have premonition and already have prediction, meaning before. They have the verse, the words, the setting far in advance for scheduling for the level of security that New York normally needs to function on. However, it always frightens me that there are some kind of slight schedule changes, which, because I don't know really how they're working these things, on the Jason Bourne calendar with DJ, FM, AM, or right, February, March, and April, May. So, being that I'm in an AM at the moment, I'm hoping, because it's April and then it goes May, so I'm hoping that the DJ is in the AM, that's the appropriate one for me to get from where I am at the moment in Borough of Queens, INTERBORO, to wherever he's supposed to go. And that things just go quiet and smoothly. So I'm not locked in the house for another day, in the socially distant whatever. But so there is some form of interaction for gardening and watershed, if they should need whatever, an update as to my safety. Because again, I don't know what they're collecting and what they're not at the moment. If it's on my behalf, my behest, it is hard to decipher exactly. But Anthony has worked with him for a while, so I am trying to think that he is on the up and up as opposed to a dangerous meeting. Again, white sharks don't frighten me necessarily, with their big teeth, trying to balance a seal on their nose, as long as they're not trying to harm me. But I'm on land, so that changes, I think, to the big bad wolf, or Zulf, whatever. Because wolves live on land, sharks live in the water. And I quite frankly can't tell the difference at the moment of who is able to go both and be both things. But just because you come upon a caterpillar smoking a hookah on top of a mushroom does not mean that that is who you are. Alice in Wonderland was curious about the creature, but did not, whatever. She walked on, she met a white rabbit, there was a Mad Hatter tea party, there were a few other things, and it does not have to be drug-centric. It's just a girl in the world. It does not look like everybody's world, but it is a bit like what New York and the Big Apple has been since my arrival. It's bicentennial, or one of the bicentennials. That being Star, born in the 1978 in this Big Apple, within the Empire, within the New York area, within this borough of Queens, with a place called Man, M-A-N, for Isle of Man. There's another Isle of Man, one that's has a garden that the watershed and the gardeners in utility knows how it grows for my purpose. And then there's the Isle of Manhattan. That's how you spell it phonetically. It's Manhatten. So I'm wearing a hat. I belong to Isle of Man, who holds my security always, in some manner. I know I'm somebody's seedling in somebody's chagrin or whatever. I heard him mention this morning on one of the programs that there's, there's something of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and something about a Book of Mormon. Again, these things have not been pronounced to me, but in French they say enchanté, which I don't know if that precludes something, if it's inclusive. Je ne sais pas, non so. I don't know. I say that in Italian, which is the closest to the Latin. Not that it is Esperanza, but again, I do not know. So, I know somewhere in the city there's outlaw security. I just don't know who's involved. I'm not at that level. I'm still here, though. And the 1975 is not a haiku I recognize. Neither was 1976. I belong to a bicentennial from 1978. For certain. I call him Special Task Force Mark, because he's my Mark. But whether people believe or not is another Station of the Cross, I suppose. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole, Cattaruzza, Earth, Solar System, Milky Way, Universe, Galaxy is broken. I heard also they made mention of what this Easter thing is of resurrection or rebirth. And je suis un enchanté. And I just am. I am whatever I am. I do not have more. I mean, and I think Yahweh was I am who am. And more than that, in Utsa, in Arabic, I don't know. Because again, these things, they don't always come easily from the humans. Sometimes they hold back for one reason or another. And I'm wearing this hat. The last time I saw Eric on a treadmill in the World Gym, he always wore a hat with a big B on it, almost an 8. And he had a very beautiful symmetry to his person. So I know that this is acceptable for a number 7. It's April 17th, 2022, and it's Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361.